Okay. Okay. Interesting dress. Oh, MAGA's mad about this song too.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as a rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory. Let us march on till victory is
Okay. So I love the song, but there were a few things distracting me in that performance. One, she didn't feel really connected to singing that. One, it also sounds very pre-recorded instead of it being live, which does happen a lot, especially with such a big stadium. Sometimes it's hard to get the sound together to be able to sing and not have like these massive reverb, or what is it, echoes from the stadium hit back at you, so you sing like in key and in tempo. But usually, or hopefully, you'll have a recording that sounds like it's live as well. And that's like what Beyonce did at the White House for the inauguration. You record a version pre-recorded, but it sounds live, and then you perform it with, and you give that emotion and things to it still. But it's so, I feel like they processed her vocals so much that it kind of just sounded like a studio performance, instead of it being close to a live feeling of a performance. And then the other thing for me is this outfit is really cool. It's very, very cool. But what throws me off are the colors. The red, black, and green are very, what's the word? Diaspora, like black world colors. But a lot of Black Americans, we associate more with the red, white, and blue, not just because it's like the American flag, but that is something that differentiates our unique heritage from the greater diaspora. And it's not to not be a part of it, but every group in that diaspora has a unique identity, and sometimes they try to not give us one and then try to claim like, oh, red, white, and blue means we are you know, bowing into the greater America. But yeah, so it's just one of those things that I noticed. I'm like, interesting. She's wearing the green, red, and black. And then I Googled for a moment. I was like, I wonder where she's from or where her family's from. And it says she's American, but it says she grew up in Lebanon and America as well. And then I looked at the people in the back, and it's the same thing where they have the red, black, and green on too. Um, so there was that part too. But then also just looking at her performance and seeing her do it, she just looked like she was trying to be nonchalant. That is a thing that the younger generations are trying to always pull off. Like, I want to be so, like, just beautiful. Like, let me be fierce instead of let me be emotional. And I think she was struggling with that, going back and forth between that, because I think she realized, like, wait, I need to feel this. And so it sometimes, like right here, she kind of looked like she was kind of, feeling the lyrics to this, but it still was giving, I'm younger and I need to look like it took me nothing to sing this. But there is so much history in this song. Like, the last time I performed this song, I mean, not to be like, she got to be like me or anything, but I cried singing it because it's such a deep song that's so historically about a journey that we're still going through. And by the way, the last time I performed this, it was Juneteenth, when like 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, the day that Kendrick Lamar was performing his concert, I was volunteering at that DEI camp that I tell y'all about, the activism camp. So it also was a very significant thing, that I was also singing it the year after my mom passed. My mom, she came with me finally to that camp. And so there's a lot of other emotions also happening inside of me. But yeah, it was a very significant thing to sing that on Juneteenth as well. And it's like, even the Black American flag, by the way, is red, white, and blue, even though, still the same colors, but in a different shape. It's only one star. If y'all seen it, it's very significant in its meaning and the symbolism of it. But yeah, it was a good performance in the sense of vocally, she has a good voice, but I feel like, and you know what, and it's not even just the colors or whatever, it's a little bit of like, I feel like maybe it could have been made a little bit differently. I don't know. It's doing a lot. This dress is very interesting. It makes me think of tennis, actually. And maybe that was kind of what they were going for, like a sporty thing and a gown at the same time. But I also haven't listened to a ton of Coco Jones, so maybe I just am not, familiar with her thing. And let me see. You said, aren't they? Oh, thank you, Dr. Shady. Thank you for the follow. Welcome in here. You said, aren't the colors of the Lebanon flag? Maybe. It could be, but this is an American, it's a very Black American song. So that's where it's kind of like, that would be hedging into a little bit of like cultural appropriation in some ways if you try to mix those things together. Yeah, interesting. You said you opened up your Twitch and I was on your screen. You've been looking for a while. Thank you, Dr. Shady. Thank you for coming in here and doing the follow. He said, a lot of time they don't like us, but we Black American got culture. Exactly. And that's why we have to keep speaking up about it. Like, y'all might be like, oh, we heard you, like, we know. No, a lot of people, and we'll go back to Kai Cenat. Kai Cenat is one of the most famous people to most recently say that Black Americans don't have culture. And yet he used our culture and caricatures of our culture and stereotypes of what people think is our culture to get famous, and now he's off doing other things. But yeah, I just think it's important for us to remember that this song has very specific cultural meaning, and you know, let us march on until victory is won. We haven't gotten justice. We are still marching forward toward that. And so it's just important to make sure that people understand it's a heavy history. And what is it? Every action has an opposite and equal reaction, right? And so sometimes people are like, oh, just get over it. But that's not how science works. That's why we have justice for all. We wouldn't need justice for all if we could just say, everyone just get over whatever happens to you and your family. So glad we got to see this, though. I'm glad it was performed, all of those pieces, but you know, left a little bit to be desired. Left a little bit to be desired, but you know, maybe next year. We'll have next year, hopefully. You said, what is it? The red, black, and green American flag then? Because you said, what is the red, black, and green American flag? Oh, yeah, that's someone's flag. Someone made that, but that's not the Black American flag. I'll show it to y'all. There's people, because here's the other piece. There are some people from Africa who do come over and then try to make Black Americans just strictly African. And it's really messed up because there is some like white supremacy in some of the things that are happening in the conversations, where they're like, oh, well, your history is African. You have no other history. And it's like, oh, no. That's what they teach y'all. That's what they say. But that is not actually the truth. A lot of it has been tried to be erased. I mean, and there's things like, you know, Black Americans started the public education system in America, but they don't want you to know that. But I wrote an article on that, or a blog post for my last school on that, and y'all can read about it. Harvard also made that a good point. Wait, what is all of these? I put in Black American flag, and there's so many other flags. What in the world? It's like an all black flag. Oh, because I put Black American flag, so it's just literally trying to show me an American flag that's in all black, the color. Let's see. 1 star. Okay. Ooh. Maybe if I put African American, Google will understand what I'm asking for. See, I don't even know what it's called for Google right now. What? Okay, let me show y'all what I'm looking at. So like it's like none of these. It's and here's the thing. There are people who say that Elon Musk is African American. And that's why it's like, man, we're going to have to rethink some things, because we keep getting diluted because different groups of people keep saying, oh, we're that too. Oh, we're African American because we're from Africa. It's like, no, we made up a term based on a continent. There's no other group really named continent American other than like Australian Americans or like, you know, because even European, like that's not a continent. Europe is not a continent. It's Eurasia. We don't call anyone Eurasian American. Okay, let me see here. Okay. Flag. Oh, let me put red, white, and blue. Oh, here it is. Oh, they're calling it the Juneteenth flag? I've always known this as the Black American flag. Interesting. But yeah, this is the one that a lot of people will recognize as specifically like Black American. Yeah. And so the ones with like the red, green, and black are sometimes a lot of African people who come here, and then they'll say like, oh, this is, in solidarity with the diaspora, let's make it green, red, and black. And there's a lot of Black Americans who also do this, but I think as we learn more about our unique identity and that we have a unique identity, I think more people end up realizing that we should have a different identity. Just like if you go to like Nigeria, there's like 100 different tribes, and it's like, wait, and Black Americans can't have their own unique identity inside of America without some people saying, oh, you're trying to, distance yourself. It's like, no. We're doing the thing. We have a very specific identity that is known worldwide. Why wouldn't we be able to say we have our own unique identity and we were a part of the diaspora? So yeah, it's as it's been for Black Americans throughout history. We are always determining the newness of our identity based on how we feel about it. We're on like our 6th name since since America was founded. And that's also how we have a very unique identity, because if it was as easy as just being like, oh, they're African, we would have been African in the first place. But instead we have a unique cultural identity, and we are okay. And y'all, briefly, what I'm gonna say is we also what is the phrase? I'm like, is it Aboriginal? Hold on. Indigenous. Hold on. I haven't talked about this in a long time, y'all. Please forgive me. Okay, no, I can't think of the word right now, and I might mess it up. But there's a word for when a group of people are formed in an area, and there is no other place on earth that specific group of people with that specific sets of DNA and genealogy form in one place. And that is why we also have a very specific being a specific identity of being native here, without saying we are like native tribal people. Like, we're not like, and some people get that mixed up when we say we're native to America. We're not saying we're them, but there were brown people in every continent originally, and we have mixed a bunch over time. And not to say we're not African, not saying that either, but there is something about us being native to this land, and there are a lot of interested people to make that not true for a lot of different reasons. There are people in America who don't want that to be true, and people outside of America who don't want that to be true, because there are a lot of things they want to claim as their own. They want to be like, oh, you're just American, and so this is American culture. We all get to, do whatever. Oh, you're just African. Oh, we just get to take all of that. No, we are unique, just like every other group of people is unique too. Okay, so that's why I'm like, there's a lot of history. There's a lot of pieces to this, and why it's such a big deal. There are more conversations about this, and then we get to understanding all the parts and all the pieces of who we all are. Okay, and that's part of the DEI camp that I teach at. It is, how are we all unique? How are we all the same? We are all one. There is 1% difference between any person on earth. I think it's less than 1%. But why can't the redheads be like, ooh, the volume of this hair and the curl of it is beautiful. The freckles, I love freckles. It's one of my favorite things. One of my favorite songs in Portuguese is about freckles. So yeah, Let us all embrace all of our differences to then embrace the collective of just being uniquely human, you know? Like, we don't know any other humans in space or any other beings in space, actually. So let's be curious about each other. Let's embrace the differences and honor all of those things. That's that's my thing, okay? MF King Cakes, good to see you. Good to see you. Oh my goodness. Remember humans, this is what Sly says. Hold on. Remember humans share 50% DNA with a banana. This means we're all bananas before being humans. Yes. Yes, Sly. Thank you. Thank you for bringing it back to the parts we need to remember. So yeah. He said the other one is in the Smithsonian. Interesting. Interesting. And that's, oh, and by the way, Runner Fro, that's another part. There are also African people who are dabbling or being a part of the reparations movement in America for Black Americans. And so that's where it gets kind of interesting about all of the interested parties in making sure that Africa is very much so linked to what happens to us. But it's like there are issues with that too, because some of the issues about the Black American story also start with Africa too. So it's like some of them are like, oh, you know, well, if you get reparations, then we're going to tie it to our reparations. Sure, we can be a blueprint maybe for other people. But some of them are trying to mess up our reparations in America to where they would also, it would dilute what we would receive, because they're like, oh, but we're also African. You're all African. Everyone's African. Give it to all diaspora. And it's like, hold on. Well, there are different justice things that are happening in different places. Different groups suffered different things at different times and in different ways. So it's like, wait. Like, let's be clear. What happened in America didn't happen anywhere else. It didn't happen anywhere else. You know, that we had like a complete ethnocide, practically a complete genocide, because there's literally, like, I tested my DNA and I literally have DNA that's unknown. They do not have a group of people on Earth that they can say it's who it belongs to. You know what I mean? So that's where it's like, no, there's something else here. And and I'm not the only one. It's not like, oh, I'm a part whatever. No, there's a lot of us have this unknown section in our DNA in America, and they cannot trace it to any other group. And so there is something that was erased here, or something that they don't acknowledge as being native here and original here, that is nowhere else. And so, yeah, some people have infiltrated into our institutions and into different places to then share history, modern history, when it's like, no, there's nuance. There are different pieces of things that need to be figured out and discussed. And the more we talk about it, the more we understand it better. There's a song my grandmother used to sing to me, and she was raised by my ancestor who was formerly enslaved. So it's like I'm 1 degree separated from my enslaved great-great-grandfather. And so she was his granddaughter and I was her granddaughter. And she would sing this song to me that he probably sang to her. And it ends with, it's called By and By. A lot of y'all know By and By. But it's that we'll understand it better by and by. And the more we talk, the more we share history, the more we're going to get to a fuller picture of what happened and how we can heal those parts and find justice, even though it's impossible to give us perfect justice. Perfect justice doesn't exist. You're replacing something that is irreplaceable. But, I mean, except for like someone stole something from you, you can get your money back. But this is a little bit different, and there are things that are stolen that can't be replaced, and it shouldn't be diminished. So, yeah, this is definitely a journey and more discussions to get us to a better place all together. I'm very well. MF King Cakes, thank you. It's always an honor to be able to discuss some of these things. You said, correct me if I'm wrong, Ari, Black Americans started a paramedic system called Freedom House Ambulance Service that served as model for 911 emergency system. Yes. And I kind of forget that sometimes. Yes, there's so many things that we started. And the way they diminish us into being like, oh, you were enslaved and we just were the hands and the manpower behind, this stuff. And it's like, no, we were the engineers of so much of this stuff. That's how, when we first got emancipation, we were making more money because we were more of the business owners, because we knew how to do all the stuff that the people who, were terrorizing us didn't know how to do. There's like this story of one of the capitals, maybe in Washington, D.C., they couldn't figure out how to put the little man on top of the building. And so they called the only person they knew that could figure it out. And it was this black man. And they had to teach all of these guys how to like raise up this statue and put it on top of a building. And it's like what they were doing was IP theft over and over again. They were stealing our ideas and taking them. Think about what we do today. It's no different than what they've always been doing. They've been stealing ideas from people, from their employees, from their workers, in order to then say, oh, look at the things that Elon Musk has done. Elon Musk didn't do all that stuff. It's his employees. We were the employees making the things. It's how we ended up coming up with the stoplights and like coming up with all this stuff. Like we were living the everyday life of figuring stuff out and how could this be better? What can we do here? And then they just take our ideas. If we were not able to do these things on our own, like why would you need to subjugate us like that? If you were just so brilliant and so smart, you would have done all the things you would have done either way, with or without us. You wouldn't have needed us to make America if you didn't need us to make America. Yeah. So, Sly, I love that you knew that about history as well. Were you thinking about homogenous groups? With which part, by the way? I'm like, what thing did I say? I said quite a few things. You actually learned it recently. You always like to learn about healthcare. Oh, I love that. Around the world. Oh, amazing. Amazing. You said Ari needs to be getting ready for bed herself. Boom. Look at Boom trying to take care of me. Look at all y'all trying to be there for me. Oh, wait. And was it over? Do we have a winner for the Super Bowl, by the way? Oh, talking about mixing and Indigenous peeps. Um, mm, mm. Arian, so it's a process. The sleep schedule is a process, and it's not quite where it needs to be yet. We're still working on that. We are. Crazy. You said you're busy watching paint dry. Hey, don't say that was more interesting than the Super Bowl. Okay, let me see who won. Yay! Oh, yay! Woo! 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 Yay! Seahawks. Only thing I'm sad about is it wasn't with the coach that I love. Their old coach. He was my favorite. He was so woke. He was an older white man and was just so woke. I loved him so much. I think he was. It was him, right? He was the woke one, right? But he was so cute though. He was a cute little old man. Yeah, so man, it'd be dope if it could have been with him and with their quarterback they used to have. That's now I think with the Browns or something like that. Yeah. Aw, the Patriots don't need another win. But it would have been cool for them without their former coach, which is now in North Carolina, y'all. Oh my goodness. How is he coaching at Carolina? That is just the funniest thing in all the world. It's like he hired Cam Newton from Carolina, then he went to Carolina. Oh boy. Yay, Seahawks. Woo! He's ready to be out of Carolina. That's so funny. Because, by the way, boom, my parents met at Carolina. I am a baby of Carolina. And I'm like, what is it? My mom always said whenever she would go back for homecoming, they would never go to the football game because they would always lose. It's so for him to try to turn around a program that's that bad. I mean, the basketball team's amazing, but the football team was always pretty terrible. Oh, your parents met at St. Augustine. Oh, crazy. Yes, Pete Carroll. Yes, I love Pete Carroll. I love him. Oh, and I got to sing a song for Sly. He did request the food song. Okay, can you resend the karaoke link, Sly? And I'll do that right now. Thank you so much for that request. I don't know what the song is going to be, but I'll sing whatever karaoke. If I don't know it, I'm going to make it up on the fly with the music. So here we go. Whenever we get that link, Sly, I'll do that right now.